It's 2:13 a.m., and you're sitting on your couch with your laptop open, scrolling through your bank account for the third time this week. You know the routine by heart. Check your balance, do that mental math dance where you subtract rent, subtract groceries, subtract the car payment, and wonder if you can survive until Friday. It's the same dance you've been doing for years, and somehow, even when you know the numbers, your chest still tightens. But tonight feels different. There's something strange, something almost imperceptible. You glance at your investment account, more out of habit than hope, and you notice a small stream of cash flowing in. Not a windfall, not some lottery luck, just $1,000, steady, every single month. And the best part? You didn't have to trade hours of your life for it. It's just there, quietly, reliably. And for the first time in years, you don't calculate whether you can afford eggs for breakfast, or whether that weird sound your car is making will bankrupt you next week. That $1,000 is doing something strange to your brain. It's not making you rich, not yet, but it is making you unbroke. And there's a universe of difference between those two states, one your parents probably never explained. Hi, I'm Jordan. And over the last decade, I've obsessed over why some people seem to glide through life, barely worried about money, while others work just as hard and stay trapped in the same cycle. The truth is psychological. It's invisible. It's in the way your brain reacts to scarcity, risk, and opportunity. And tonight, I want to talk about the biggest money lie your parents told you. The story that's kept most of us surviving instead of thriving.
Most of us were taught the classic formula: go to school, get a degree, get a good job, save, and someday you'll be fine. And fine, in theory, sounds comforting. But here's the secret they didn't tell you. Following that plan alone keeps you living on the edge of anxiety, not in the calm of choice. It prepares you to survive, not to live. Let's unpack that. Below a certain financial threshold, every decision you make is rooted in fear. Can I afford this? Should I take that job? What happens if my car breaks down? Your brain is a calculator, but the numbers aren't just numbers. They're anxiety triggers. And when you cross that threshold, even modestly, everything changes. Here's the first thing most people never understand. Passive income is less about money and more about freedom. Not freedom in the sense of quitting your job tomorrow, not freedom to buy a Lamborghini, but freedom from the immediate panic that dictates every choice. That $1,000 a month I mentioned earlier, it's a buffer. It's your personal safety net that allows you to think in terms of possibilities rather than survival. Let me give you an example. Imagine it's the middle of the month. You just got a notice that your rent cleared and your gas bill is due in 2 days. Without that $1,000 buffer, your brain is in crisis mode. You're negotiating, compromising, sometimes even panicking. But when that $1,000 arrives consistently, you don't feel panic. You feel options. You start asking questions like, could I negotiate a better deal here? Should I invest in that side hustle? Suddenly, your decisions aren't reactive. They're proactive. And here's where most people stumble. They start seeing that first taste of passive income as bonus money or fun money. Maybe they buy a slightly nicer coffee, upgrade their phone plan, or treat themselves to a few dinners. And just like that, the psychological benefit disappears. The 1K rule isn't about reward. It's about planting the seed for long-term wealth, not spending your way into short-term comfort. Now, let's talk about what that $1,000 really represents. It's not enough to retire. It's not enough to pay for a mansion or exotic vacations. But in most places, it's enough to cover basic survival. Groceries, utilities, maybe a modest rent. enough to quiet that primal part of your brain, constantly calculating worst-case scenarios. And when your nervous system finally relaxes like this, decision-making improves in ways that most people never notice. You start planning instead of panicking, building instead of surviving. Research backs this up. People with even modest passive income streams make dramatically different choices. They're more likely to negotiate salaries, take career risks, switch jobs for growth rather than immediate cash, and invest in higher risk, higher reward assets. Not because they're braver, not because they're smarter, but because they have a financial cushion that allows them to think beyond next month's bills. Here's another nuance most gurus won't tell you. The $1,000 figure isn't arbitrary. It's not magic. For some, it could be $800. For others, $1,500, depending on cost of living. But across the U.S., $1,000 monthly passive income hits the sweet spot where your brain stops operating in constant scarcity mode and starts considering possibility. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. You can suddenly see the opportunities you've been walking past blindly. And it gets even more interesting. The first $1,000 isn't about how much money you have. It's about how you behave once you have it. Here's the trap. Lifestyle inflation. People hit $100, $200, $500, even $1,000, and immediately inflate their lifestyle. A slightly nicer apartment, a few more conveniences, upgraded groceries, and all the psychological advantage disappears. The first $1,000 isn't a reward. It's the foundational block that allows you to build more streams, more wealth, and more freedom. Let's look at the numbers. If you reinvest $1,000 per month into investments yielding 8% annually, that's $12,000 added to your base every year. Compounded at 8%, in 13 years you're looking at roughly $250,000 without touching another penny of your job income. That $250,000 at a 4% withdrawal rate generates $10,000 a year, almost $860 a month. By doing nothing more than reinvesting that first $1,000, you've nearly doubled your passive income without adding more hours to your life. And this is where the story becomes a psychological game. When you start seeing that first stream grow, your brain begins to spot opportunities everywhere. That rental property you were scared of, suddenly manageable. That side business you shelved, suddenly profitable. That freelance skill, suddenly a viable income source. Scarcity thinking transforms into abundance thinking. Your decisions stop being reactive. They become optimization problems. But it's also fragile. That first $1,000 is a test of discipline. If you immediately consume it, the benefit is gone. If you reinvest it, you set off a snowball effect. Year 1, you're making $1,000. Year 2, $1,200. Year 3, $1,500. By year 5, $2,500 monthly passive income. By year 10, $5,000 to $8,000 per month, all without adding a dollar from your regular job. Most people never see this because they stop at the first milestone, mistaking it for the reward rather than the entrance ticket to the game. Let's talk about lifestyle creep. When people hit their first passive income milestone, their brain wants to upgrade everything. Coffee, groceries, phone plans, subscriptions, you name it. And while all of these feel justified, they actually trade long-term freedom for short-term comfort. That $50 monthly splurge, it's really $15,000 in future wealth. That $200 car upgrade, maybe $60,000 lost potential over time. The first $1,000 is seed money for financial independence, not a ticket to indulgence. Here's the psychological twist most people don't see. The first $1,000 changes your relationship with uncertainty. Financial stress is background noise for most people. It hums quietly, affecting decisions you don't even realize. Once that $1,000 is guaranteed every month, your stress level drops. Your decision-making improves. You negotiate from strength, not desperation. You invest strategically, not fearfully. You start thinking in terms of long-term asset accumulation, not month-to-month survival. And that's why some families stay wealthy across generations. It's not just inheritance. It's the psychology of the buffer. They make decisions from calm and strategy, not panic. That first $1,000 in passive income teaches patience, strategic thinking, and opportunity recognition, skills far more valuable than the dollar amount itself. The biggest money lie your parents told you? That money equals effort, and if you work hard enough, you'll be fine. It's true, but it's incomplete. Working hard teaches survival, yes, but it doesn't teach freedom, strategy, or buffer psychology. True financial control comes from building streams of money that exist without trading time, hitting that psychological threshold and protecting it so it can grow. And if I could help you with this video, I'd really appreciate a like and maybe even a subscribe. Because every small step you take learning this, applying it, and reinvesting builds a freedom you can't earn with hours alone. Remember this, the first $1,000 isn't a reward. It's proof, it's the seed, it's your entry ticket to building financial independence. And once you respect it, nurture it, and reinvest it, the possibilities start to multiply in ways your younger self would never imagine.